Uh, Welcome to yet another video from innerinsight.io, and today we're going to talk about the typical customer journey. Why why as a user someone has to pick innerinsight.io as their observability solution. So let me quickly talk about the company as well as the team. So we are a whole bunch of engineers who happen to work for Fortune 10 companies, not even 100, like 10. Uh, we are like ex-Googlers, people who worked in Microsoft, LinkedIn, and whatnot. So we pretty much, when we used to work for these giants, so we used to tackle pretty much the common problem. Um, and what was it? It's all about observability. So in terms of since these are like beefy infrastructure, they emit these logs, metrics, and traces continuously. So and it gets handled at volume. So but yeah, the underlying infrastructure is sort of falls into the same category. So we thought, why to just make it or support for that specific org or enterprise? Why not to make it as a product and sell it to the mass, so that there is like 50K companies out there who could be benefited out of it. So yeah, that's the motto of it. And in terms of the product level, so we have basically like the logging pipeline, metrics, and tracing, and on top of it, we have um, network monitoring as well, which will be released soon. And on top of it, apart from the typical three observability signals, you can alert based on it. So that's also comes it along with the bundle. So yeah, as of now, that's the product stack. But yeah, we have a lot going around uh, in terms of the other new products which are in the pipeline. And uh, next question is maybe how to access these logs, metrics, and traces, and maybe create dashboards and alert on top of it. So if folks are interested, feel free to reach us at info@innerinsight.com, innerinsight.io. So people will reach out to you, and our sales team will reach out to you, and our dev team basically will spin up a whole bunch of clusters. Uh, um, Start, starting from like for your metrics, logs, and traces, as well as configure network monitoring as well, so that it will constantly um, observe changes which typically happen in your network. So based on it, you can typically alert on it as well. So um, yeah, that's that. And once you log in with proper credential, it will give you a whole bunch of endpoints, which is basically depending upon, excuse me, depending upon your setup, whether it's public, private, or hybrid. Those endpoints will actually point to that, to those host boxes or containers, and where you can like configure or basically analyze the data by configuring dashboards and even alert on top of them. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, in terms, let me quickly talk about our pricing. So we don't want to differentiate between logs, metrics, and traces, or even network monitoring. As of now, this entire bundle of five, which includes logs, metrics, traces, network monitoring, and alerting, all comes at a cost of like 199 per GB, which gets processed by uh, by our platform. So yeah, that's the pricing. Feel free to reach our sales team again at info at innerinsight.io. We'll be happy to help you with that. And yeah, as a customer or as a user, you'll have typical question: why can't I build something on my own? Because eventually uh, people who have built it, there might be some proprietary here and there, but mostly it's all which is all there open sourced, in and based on the customer need, we have like proprietary softwares here and there. Of course you can build on your own, but the biggest disadvantage which comes along with it is you have to hire people with like right set of skills to even build and manage that. So that becomes tough nut for a lot of companies. So yeah, that's one of the reason we specifically deal with this observability part. Yeah, moving on. In terms of why I have to pick innerinsight.io, why can't others? Yeah, there is a whole bunch of players out there, but by this time you might have noticed it becomes relatively pricey, um, in terms of handling these observability things, whether it's metrics, traces, or logs. So yeah, uh, okay, let's move on to next question. Um, um, Say if you have a problem, can I reach uh, inner insight team? Of course you can. We have different teams starting from like pre-sales team, sales team, onboarding process, and then the dev team, core dev team, and then post sale as well. So there is a continuous commitment from our end to our user to support people for 24 cross 7. So feel free to engage us. We'll be happy to help you in any part of the journey. And in regards with the standards which is being used, so we use open telemetry standard, which is all cloud native, and our backbone infrastructure is mostly built on by using open source products. So I believe that's the right way to go as well. In eventually a lot of these beefy enterprises also taking that route, because um, a thing like observability keeps changing every now and then. So yeah, it's best bet to do that. And how do you send data, basically all these observability signals, whether metrics, logs, or traces, to our platform? So we will you can use any sort of agents or library to send all these observability signals. But yeah, we encourage to use open telemetries collector, and along with that you can use like telegraph or even fluentd to send your metrics or logs for that matter. Most likely we will be asking you to drop all these signals to a Kafka endpoint. From there, which is again hosted um, in our platform, where we pick pick all your observability signals, which gets eventually processed by the underlying infrastructure, and in post that you guys can eventually visualize the data, basically analyze the data, and even alert on them. And yeah, that's but yeah, in longer run we thought we will we'll better have better will go with the containers based solution. So all you have to do is just download the container. You'll have a default config. Of course you can play along with it, tweak here and there how it needs to be done, but all you have to do is just download the container and put in the proper config if you have to in, and then the container will eventually do the magic for you. It's going to collect all your metrics, traces, and logs, and ship it to us, and along with it it will eventually keep a eye on your network as well. So yeah. So what is the current tech stack looks like? So we have logs, metrics, traces. Along with it we are working on the network monitoring as well. And of course alert comes along with that, right? So that's how the current tech stack looks like. But in longer run, I mean, once we have nailed all of it, and people are happy with it, we will eventually move into building, like starting from synthetic monitoring to RAM to bot detection and anomaly detection and as such. So yeah, please stay tuned for it. Excuse me. And okay, say for example, if a user just has private DZs, data centers, how Inner Insight can support it. Yeah, don't worry, we got you covered. We can provide you with all the installers which are eventually needed, and or if you have say if you guys are in public cloud, and if you guys don't like to send data to our platform, we can even spin things up in your VPCs, like private clouds or virtual private clouds basically, or into like different cloud accounts. So yeah, feel free to reach us through any medium. We'll be happy to help you on that as well. Yeah, here are the handles, and just drop an email. We should be able to help. In terms of, say for example, in multi-cloud or in hybrid cloud, that also perfectly works, because our platform is like cloud agnostic. So we don't have any tie-ups with any of these cloud vendors. So we work with Azure, GCP, AWS, OpenStack, or the typical private cloud. So yeah, as of now, we are in the early stage of bootstrapping the company. So we want to encourage people who eventually sign up for it. So and of course we want to build trust and build the relationship on top of it. So we want to eventually build this loyal customer base. So to show action of our gratitude to the early adopters, we are planning to give pay only for the mission cost for the current products as well as the future products. So yeah, you heard it right. So eventually we will be spinning all these infrastructure in a bunch of containers in a dedicated VM just for you guys, right? So we're going to charge you only for that, in terms of the compute, the disk, as well as the data transfer. So those are all the three charges. We will eventually have the we will eventually pass on the breakup with you in terms of what it's been eventually being used or consumed by you. But yeah, apart from it, um, as I told you earlier, we have dedicated team, uh, um, a dynamic team who will eventually support you guys in long run. And yeah, uh, yeah, that's it for now. I believe I pretty much answered all the questions, and see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.